ladies and gentlemen, to another Marketing Technology Minute. Today, I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, JC Golden.
Good to be here, Chris.
Our in-resident, great to have you, our in-resident web developer, to talk about mobile web, specifically responsive web design.
Yep.
So, folks, in case you're not familiar, to begin with, let's start out by reflecting on the fact that I think the world has gone mobile at a faster clip than a lot of businesses and marketers expected. And I think as such, everybody's scrambling to figure out how we can reach the on-the-go consumer, or the mobile consumer, we should say, on all of these different devices they're using. Which is another element going on here, is that there seems to be a convergence, JC, with all this mobile usage.
Yep.
Of kind of a mobile device convergence.
Definitely.
And what I mean by that is tablets are getting smaller, smartphones are getting bigger, you've got laptops that are interactive like Surface. So it's like everything's kind of a mobile device, for lack of a better term, but they're all different shapes and sizes, and that creates a real headache for web developers,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And really, because the goal is optimization, we're trying to provide the best user experience out there for folks using these devices. And if the site, the mobile site, your website doesn't come up on a mobile device,
That's a big problem.
properly, it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So really, responsive web design seeks to resolve that issue.
Yep, with responsive web design, the goal is to make your website the same experience no matter what the device size.
Okay, and I know responsive has been around for a while, but I would say it's really kind of hit mass adoption over the last 6 months, it seems, for lack of a better time frame. So the question I have for you, JC, to begin with is, in a nutshell, why responsive?
Why responsive?
Why responsive? If I'm a business person out there and I'm saying, I've got a website and I've got all these people trying to access it with mobile devices.
I would tell you that responsive is the most efficient way to do that.
So it's efficient.
It's efficient.
Why is it efficient? I know you said it, it reaches all these different devices, but how does it do it?
Do you want the technical explanation?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe at first let's start it. So maybe give us a big picture of how it works, like how a responsive design site works on a mobile.
All right. Well, I guess first to tell you how it works, we should go back to the basics of why mobile sites didn't work.
Okay.
Before responsive design became big, a lot of companies were using mobile versions of their site.
Sure.
And the problem with that was it assumed a lot about the user coming to your site, and it assumed that if they were accessing it on a cell phone, that they were mobile. And as we know, that's not always the case.
It's not always the case, and it's a bad idea to assume anything about our very intelligent consumers.
Exactly. So with responsive, you take one big website, it's the desktop version,
Sure.
and you shrink it and you manipulate the content and you move it so that it's the same site on a cell phone that it would be on the big one, and you can access the same information that you would, and you get the same experience out of it.
And how does that happen? I mean, what's the magic behind that? I've heard something about hierarchical structure, but I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, well, basically, designers use these things called media queries, and there's different breakpoints. So at certain screen resolution sizes, you can tell the content to do different things, or to move in different ways. You can say, instead of having this all spread out, this way, I want it stacked this way.
Okay.
This is why my user's coming. This is what they need to know first.
Okay, so we're kind of like stacking blocks in a way.
Exactly.
Which is, always a good thing if you can do it. So, folks, I think what we want to take away from this is everything is going mobile. You cannot hide from mobile any longer.
No.
And you don't want to, because that's increasingly where all your consumers are that are going to interact with your brand or buy your service or your product.
Yep.
So we want to, let's not stick our heads in the sand. Let's prepare for it and it sounds like the most efficient way to do so is the mobile design or the responsive web.
Design. Yep. It can be a little bit more expensive up front, and it can be a little bit more time consuming.
How much more expensive?
Well, I don't know exact numbers
Sure.
for you, but it does take a little bit more time.
Okay.
However, you are going to save the hassle of dealing with a completely separate mobile site.
Okay, sure.
It's just one website instead of two different ones.
Now, and as more devices proliferate of different shapes and sizes, is a responsive site going to work on all those in the future?
Of course. Yep.
So it's a little bit more of an investment now
Yeah.
is worth it in the long run.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, well that makes sense to me. As a bottom line, JC, why responsive?
Responsive is, like I said, it's very efficient,
Yeah.
and it's just really going to provide your customer with the best experience no matter how they're accessing your website.
So, most bang for your buck because it's most efficient
Yep.
and provides the best user experience.
Yep.
And who doesn't like that?
I can't think of anyone.
I can't either. Okay, folks, this has been another Marketing Technology Minute, your place for the hottest and latest and greatest news in the marketing technology industry. We'll see you next week. Thanks
Bye.
for joining us.